You're listening to The Watchers, the show where two women from opposite ends of New Jersey watch movies that we probably would have really liked if we'd seen them when we were the right age. And now we're seeing them at the wrong age and trying to figure out how to talk about them.
You know what? We're going to have to get more specific because...
I know. I'm going to be the villain in this episode, though, and I'm really upset about it. I'm Jodie.
I'm Andrea.
We watched Practical Magic.
Yeah, I don't know that you're going to be the villain.
Oh, I feel so bad. I know that the people that love this movie really, really love this movie. And I thought it was fine.
I understand the critical response to this movie. I understand it is objectively not good.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. And I do think, like I said to you, I was watching it knowing that it wasn't good. I forget exactly what I said to you, but
yeah.
I just know that the fact that I will be 40 in like 3 months was a big part of why I love this movie. Because you said the wrong age, and I'm the exact... It's what you said off mic, if you want to share that, I think is exactly right.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said that if you were 10 years younger than you are right now.
Oh, that, yes.
Which would put you at my age. And also, it were 1998. Like, if you had seen this movie when it came out at my age, you would have loved it. And I think I am... I also think there's something about the fact that I'm 40 now watching a movie that came out when I was 12. And so I have such a nostalgic childlike fondness for thinking about what kind of adult I might be and what my life could have been at that age. Like, I was watching it thinking about how 12-year-old me would have been obsessed with having this kind of life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It very much does.
So, yeah. As opposed to, I mean, in 98, you were like in college,
I was in college,
right?
Yeah.
And so it's just, I think I'm just exactly the right age. But if I had seen it again in 1998 or 4 or 5 years ago, even, I don't know that I would have liked it. Like, it's just a perfect little chronotope of time and space for me right now.
Yeah. And, I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy myself. I definitely did at parts. Like, there were parts where I was kind of like, okay. And there were parts where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hanging out with Sandra Bullock. Her hair is gorgeous. Like, she looks incredible. Like, this is peak late 90s Sandy.
She's perfect. I have always found her charming, of course, because I'm not an idiot.
Right.
But again, also, I think I needed to be 39 years old.
Yeah.
Watching a late 90s Sandra Bullock be the most beautiful she has ever been. Like,
well, and I love that they try to ugly her up in the beginning. Like, of course. They're like, she's got ugly bangs and weird glasses, so you don't know she's pretty. And I'm like, okay, we're on to you with this trick. Mm-hmm. You've done it a bunch. Mm-hmm. And then, like, as the movie goes on and on, the bangs go away, the hair gets like fuller and longer, and like she sort of, they like put her back to what she's supposed to look like, basically. Yeah, you said your text to me was, you got to watch it for the vibes. I wouldn't say it's objectively good, but I'm now obsessed with it, just to set your expectations.
Maybe I oversold it. By obsessed, maybe I should have said, I'm having a great time with this insane movie with the most ridiculous plot of any movie ever. And what a good time. I mean,
like, the very first thing you find when you look up this movie is the way that it smashes a whole bunch of genres together kind of poorly.
Well, that's like... I'm not a huge Alice Hoffman...
Yeah.
What's the expert?
Mm-hmm.
But so she, obviously, it's based on
her novel,
her novel,
which was only 3 years old when this movie came out. It was very fast.
Mm-hmm. But I know that she is kind of known for straddling genre and like playing in a bunch of different genres to various levels of success.
Yeah.
And
I think that it probably works better in the book.
That's what I was just going to say, yeah.
Because from the reading that I did and the research that I did, I kind of got the impression that part of the problem with this was the direction by Griffin Dunne. Like, I don't know what he was going for, and I'm not sure he did either.
No, I don't think anybody did. I think that the book probably feels more like a typical, not typical is not the right word, but leans more into magical realism in a way that is more standard. And if you don't have a handle on that genre, you might not know.
Right.
Because the way that...
And how to translate it into a movie.
The way the magic works in this movie is so
wild,
weird, and inconsistent. Though, the only one who's like... I know it's called practical magic. And I kept thinking like, her magic is just so practical. Like when she's stirring the tea and the spoon keeps going, like that kind of stuff that's goals. That is dream life.
Well, that's what I mean about if I had seen this in 98 when it came out, but I was 10 years younger, so I would have been like 12. It would have been absolutely perfect because that was sense. Like, I mean, I sincerely growing up loved the movie Teen Witch. Like, not ironically.
No.
Now it's an ironic, detached, like, I'm going to pretend I didn't love it sincerely at the time, but I loved it sincerely. And I wanted like an amulet necklace that was going to make me the popular girl. Like, that was everything.
Yeah,
So had I seen this movie when it came out and was 10 years younger, I do think I would have been obsessed with details like that. Like the stirring the coffee without touching it kind of thing.
And lighting a candle by blowing on it.
Yeah.
Come on.
And giving a kid chicken pox.
That's so funny that her kids... I love...
No hexing the children.
The reveal later when he shows up with them is so... Like, some of this movie is genuinely funny.
Totally. That's what I mean. Like, there were definitely moments where I was like having a good time and really kind of got it, but just I couldn't detach from being
Do you think
just a bit too old.
There are a couple of problems. Is the main problem that confusion of genre and tone? Because when it's funny, it's so funny.
Yeah.
But like, you can't have, or I guess you can, because I don't know, maybe I'm just less, this is where you and I come back to a lot, is that like, you have, I was going to say standards, an expectation that things should, to some degree at least, make sense, and that is the right way to be, as opposed to me, where I'm like,
it's not as fun though. I mean, so I think that is the real problem, and like, because of, and this is why I say I think Griffin Dunne is actually a problem. No offense to Griffin Dunne, but in all the research I did and the interviews with him, he talks about how his original director's cut of this movie was much darker. And so much more into the domestic violence of it all, much more like just a different tone. And so a lot of that was taken out, but not all of it.
Right.
And so we've got like Nicole Kidman in a car a guy trying to like brand her and strangle her to death. And then margarita night or midnight margaritas dancing around a table. And I'm just like, it's whiplash. I can't go back and forth between domestic violence, which to me is not something that I can combine with comedy very easily and be comfortable.
It's funny because I was starting to say, this is something we talk about that we like about Yellow Jackets. And
yes, it does it well.
And I'm trying to figure out, is it that the movie just doesn't have as much time? Like, we have episodes and episodes. Do you think it's just that Griffin Dunne isn't from Jersey, so he doesn't understand how to gracefully hold those two things side by side the way we do?
I mean, obviously the fact that he's not from Jersey is a flaw, but I also think that there's such specificity to Yellow Jackets, to the characters in Yellow Jackets, that is not here.
Right.
Like, there's personalities, there's differences between the characters. Like, we're kind of pairing or playing Nicole Kidman and what are their names? Sally and Ginny? Sally and Jilly, right? Mm-hmm. I should know this.
That's right.
I heard their names 1,000 times. they're kind of playing off each other as types. But that's the thing, is they're types.
And the types are brunette,
silly and serious.
Well, silly or
yes,
brunette and ginger.
Right, ginger. Yes, of course. I think of Nicole Kidman as more of a blonde these days, but you're right. This is her full ginger era.
That's how you know she's the fiery wild one.
Right.
Just like their daughters.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing.
Not their daughters, just like Sally's daughters. Hold on now.
I know. Well, there's some stuff in the beginning where I was kind of like, wait, aren't they sisters?
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was a little confused in the beginning by that. But yeah, so just to kind of drill down on that point, the difference between a show like Yellow Jackets that combines comedy and trauma very well, and this movie, which I don't think does, is A, like you said, more time, but B, more specificity. Mm-hmm. It's not, we meet a random guy that's kind of like a vampire adjacent stereotype.
Weirdly.
Yeah. And then immediately he's beating her up. And versus like, the people aren't, this is not about like depth of character, this movie.
Right. Yeah.
And like subtle nuances of the human experience.
So I think, so things that would improve this movie. One, if he were more of a cartoonish bad guy and not actually trying to like
murder her,
brand, strangle, sexually assault, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's like got serial killer backstory.
There are other ways to communicate this is a bad guy without having to move in those kind of, I almost said tropes, but like realities. And then also, and I don't know what to do about this. I understand we need Sandra Bullock to have a first love. One, she needs to have daughters. Two, she needs to know that the curse is real.
But the death scene shouldn't cause me to laugh.
Well, or it, I mean, like, maybe in this case it should.
Okay,
because if we're trying to fix this movie, it's that it is funny, and also the whole thing is heartbreaking because she's got,
it either needs to be funny or dark, but like, and you can have both, but it's trying to literally split it in the middle, and it needs to be one with some of the other. Like, it needs to be either a darker movie with like some dark humor in it, or a comedy,
right,
with like less violent real life overtones.
Yeah. He also, I just realized he doesn't need to be dead. Like, another way to do it would be, and maybe actually this would be better, is he finds out she's a witch, can't handle it, and fucks off and leaves her alone with the kids. And then this other guy comes in who's literally from her dreams. And she's got to decide if she's willing to like...
Right. But we have to have the reiteration of the death beetle thing. For her to hear it and him to die. But like, I understand, again, I'm going to keep saying it, I would have liked this movie a lot if I had seen it at the right time. But the fact that she's hearing the beetle, we're flashing to him in the road with all the bikes, and you're just like, and then he watches all the bikes go by him, and he like puts his head back in the wind of the bicycles. And then I was the only surprise there was that it was a truck and not a bus. I thought it was going to be a bus. But of course, there's no buses in this town.
I think another thing is maybe I can't tell when the movie... Obviously, there are times when the movie knows it's being funny. And then there are other times where I'm not sure. Like, was I supposed to laugh there?
I don't think so.
It's hard to say.
So to me, the thing that this movie is taking extremely seriously and probably shouldn't be is the romance.
Right. Yeah, I think that's right.
To me, I'm just like, I don't buy any of this.
Well, and that's why it feels crazy that this cop shows up. And I understand that she created him, basically. Yeah. But when he stays for pancakes without even questioning it,
I didn't buy any of the romantic connections in this movie, other than between Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. I'm being very serious. That was not a joke.
I know that you are. I know.
I did not get the sister vibe.
So funny.
I until the end. They got the sister vibe once they started fighting.
Once they started fighting, that big time. And then also when the moment when this is another thing where it's too serious, but when Jilly calls Sally because she's basically been kidnapped a little bit, as Sally tells him later. And she says, like, I'm scared, can you come get me? And the way that Sally just goes, like, that felt very family, where it's like, you have the fucked up family member and you're there for them because you know you will be. And like, that felt real, but again, in a way that is.
But for the first 30 minutes of the movie, I thought they were going to kiss.
Which, I mean, I'm still holding out hope.
I know. I'm not anti. I'm not anti. Other than the sister part is weird and gross. But like, you know, maybe they're not actually sisters, and I just missed that part in the beginning where like they were just grew up together or something. I don't know.
It feels one wonderful, lovely thing about this movie is there are 3 men in it. And none of them matter.
No, not at all.
It is.
That's the Yellow Jackets vibe also.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, and you know, that's, I'm sure, a big reason of why it resonated so hard with so many women throughout the 90s, late 90s into the 2000s, why it's still like a cult movie. We've talked about it, like most of the movies, I think, from that time that were primarily all female casts, we've covered. Yeah. Like, there weren't that many. And so, and especially ones where the men are kind of the enemy in this movie. I mean, the romantic ending, of course, is she ends up with her perfect man, but like,
who, by the way,
she had to create with a spell. Yeah. Because they don't exist.
Like, you get,
that's the whole point.
Men either die. Yeah. Try to kill you. Or you have to create them with a spell.
Yeah. Yes. And I do think, like, you know, we've talked a lot about the sexism of the 90s and how it was probably even worse than it's portrayed in a lot of that sort of content from the time. And so I do think that I can imagine existing in that disgusting mess of being a woman in the 90s and then seeing this movie and being like, oh, fuck, yes, finally, you know?
It's like, were you a little, this is a leading question. How did you feel when how did you feel when they activated the phone tree?
Oh my God. I can't relate to parent shit, Andrea. I get that I'm supposed to think of it as like a female empowerment thing.
It's like, yeah, it's pulling the coven together.
Yes, I thought that was funny. They were like, oh, we need 12, right? And of course, we've got a phone tree. I did enjoy... So that was one of the moments where, like, comedically I could get into it because it was like all these women who had been so mean to them and, like, made fun of them and been afraid of them just being like, oh, I hate my husband too. I'll bring a broom. Like, you know, those moments is why, to me, I was like, this should just be a comedy. Like, cut out the darkest shit. Part of the reason that I'm just like, I feel like cut out the dark shit and leave it just a comedy is because that's what Griffin Dunn had already done. Like, he did Addicted to Love, which is a romantic comedy with Meg Ryan. That said, he also is the nephew of Joan Didion and directed the Netflix documentary on her.
I saw
from
that.
2017.
I haven't seen the documentary, but I did see that. Yeah, so I mean, I guess he's got, you know, like spousal death and grief in his DNA.
Sure.
Hold on, I'm so sorry. Speaking of DNA, why did Sally and Jill?
This is my biggest annoyance with this movie.
Why did they have a blood pact? Why did they become blood sisters when they are blood sisters?
This is what made... Okay, this was the thing that made me the most crazy, I think. I was like, I don't understand this. You already have the same blood. What is mixing it again doing?
Because it's not even like... You come from a family of witches. It would be maybe if you didn't come from a family of witches and there was a scene at the beginning of them like becoming witches and the like passing the blood is what gives them their more like supernatural connection.
Oh, it made me so crazy.
And
it was also what made me think in the beginning maybe I'd missed something and they actually weren't sisters.
Right?
Like, because I was like, why would they do that?
It makes no sense except for it is a call forward, or it foreshadows the coven needing that extra boost of your blood, our blood strength. But that still doesn't.
they also cut themselves really deeply.
It's
like those scars 20 years later. I'm like, whoa.
Whenever in a movie,
you needed stitches for that.
People need to get blood out of their body, and they cut their
the palm of their hand.
The most, like, it's not even just that it's soft and that probably hurts a lot. It's also like that's never going to heal. You got to cut something that doesn't bend a million times a day.
Exactly. Yes. We take our advice on that next time you go to have a blood pact with someone. Don't use the hand. Yeah, with someone who you don't need to mix your blood with in the first place.
Jodie, can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
I'm probably going to watch this movie again today.
Oh my God. I'm definitely not going to do that. It is a movie, though, that I think I will now more enjoy the clips that will inevitably come across my TikTok and Instagram page because of the season that we're in that are from this movie. Like, now that I've seen it and know the scenes they're referring to, I will probably get more of a chuckle out of it, but I will not be rewatching this movie.
I'm realizing I don't care what this movie is about. What I want is to live in a giant...
yes.
Like labyrinthine. How many floors is this giant old house?
It's like 17 and a half or something. Like, it's one of those mysterious mystery houses that just like shapeshifts.
Off the coast of New England, full of plants, with a big, beautiful garden, with like a rocky, like it is. And I want to wear a big cardigan and stir my tea and write a letter by hand and have my two like kooky old aunts who are speaking at the like witch conference, basically
the solstice celebration or something.
All of that is in, and just the like again, it's called practical magic, but I loved the casualness of the stuff where it's like, no dancing naked under the moonlight, and then they're being like nudity's optional, and her like I just think all of that is it's
so charming, and I could not.
Thank you. Charming is the exact right word. I was charmed. Huh.
You were charmed.
Like witches.
I could not agree more with the vibes piece. Like, we've talked about this. All I ever wanted was to live in a rambling Victorian house on the coast of some New England town and wear sweaters.
Did this movie invent like cottagecore?
I don't think so, because I was into this vibe before this movie, so maybe I did, but no. It did not invent cottagecore, but I guarantee it ensured its viability for many years to come, because, I always wanted to live in a Victorian, like, rambling, falling apart house and wear, like, wool sweaters and skirts and walk on the beach and pick up rocks and,
walk on
all
that
of that
kind of beach. Because, like, I'll walk on the Jersey Shore all day long. I need the
not
gray.
the same.
I mean, I could walk on the Jersey Shore all day long. My partner lives in Boston, and we are always, of course, arguing over the merits of our,
respective. Yeah.
And I always say, like, I can't move up there. I can't be that far from New Jersey. And while I was watching the movie, I took a screenshot of the house and a screenshot of the yard, and I said, I would move to New England for that house. Which heartbreakingly,
isn't a house.
Well, number one, not a house. Number two, should we get into some production stuff? There's some
I don't know that we need to be as structured as usual, but
I just want to say this wasn't shot in New England, off the coast of New England at all.
Right.
Exact opposite, in fact.
Yeah. So
Washington State, right?
Yes. It's Whidbey Island. So let's talk a little bit about, I want to kind of tie together the production piece with some things we've talked about before. Mm-hmm. So the novel, 1995, Alice Hoffman. The screenplay was Robin Swicord, Akiva Goldsman, and Adam Brooks. Swicord, we know because of Little Women. The other thing that I'm not sure we did talk about with her is that she is the mother of Zoe Kazan.
Yeah,
who played Emily in The Big Sick.
Yeah, I didn't know that until researching this one. I don't know why that didn't come up.
I don't either.
Last time.
But yeah, there were 3 writers involved, which some people blame the discordant genre mashup on the fact that there were 3 different writers. I don't. I blame that, I think, honestly, on Griffin Dunn and then
multiple,
the edit. Yeah. So, and Swicord is involved again in the sequel, which we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Produced by Denise Denovi from Heathers, Ed Wood, Little Women, Legend, incredible human. Well, actually, I don't know that she's an incredible human, but she did Heathers, so, you know.
Between Swikert and Denovi, which obviously the Little Women connection, but just that little triangulation of Little Women.
I know, it's incredible.
Heathers, and then practical magic. It weirdly, like, that does kind of make
It's
sense.
incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
We'll talk through some of the reviews, which are not good later on, but there was a Variety review that mentioned the screenplay, and specifically the writers, and it says, part comedy, part family drama, part romance, part special effects, mystery adventure, and not entirely satisfying on any of these levels. This hodgepodge suffers from the conflicting sensibilities of its three credited scripters: Robin Swicord, who has done good work before, Akiva Goldsman, who has not, and Adam Brooks. Wow. That is harsh.
That's tough to hear.
That is so harsh.
But also not...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know other things that Akiva Goldsman has done. Okay, here we go. The Client, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Brings us back to last week.
Yeah, exactly.
I, Robot, I Am Legend, Cinderella Man. He also wrote more than a dozen episodes for Fringe.
Yeah.
Which is a show that I think we both have watched.
I watched and
enjoyed
first season because it's a Pacey show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, he won the Golden Globe for the screenplay for A Beautiful Mind. So
that can I tell you? That's one of our... I had a tough time finding... I found two Jersey connections, neither of which are like that exciting, but one of them being that John Nash taught at Princeton, which is technically Jersey. In New Jersey.
Yeah. I will say that this review from Variety was from the time, so it was before Goldsman had done A Beautiful Mind up until that point.
Right. Which is a movie that I like. It's,
Yeah. It's like a prestige sort of movie.
It's also one of those movies that doesn't handle mental illness the best and kind of sensationalizes it. But I did like it. So
yeah. Yeah, no, up until this point, he had written Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, I think was the other one he did, A Time to Kill, The Client. So a lot of John Grisham things, and then the two Batmans. He also wrote the screenplay for Lost in Space, directed by Stephen Hopkins. So yeah, up until this point, he had not had like a prestige movie, and then ended up doing A Beautiful Mind a couple years later.
Up until this point. So.
And then he finally did Practical Magic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the third writer. Oh, here we go. Best known for writing and directing Definitely Maybe, French Kiss, Wimbledon, and Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reason.
Oh, interesting. French Kiss was a guilty pleasure movie of mine when I was a kid. And then I just heard you say Wimbledon, and what I heard was, oh my God, why can't I think of what the movie's called? What's the movie?
The recent one?
No. I'm an idiot. The movie, the Manic Pixie Dream Girl origin movie, the tennis movie. Is it not a tennis movie? Elizabethtown.
Oh, Elizabethtown.
Does she play tennis in Elizabethtown?
I don't know.
We've got to figure out if I need to cut all of this out. Probably. Yeah. Oh, I don't think she does. No. Why did I think that was tennis? Anyway, we're going to cut all of that.
Yeah. The photo on the poster of her getting a piggyback ride looks a little bit tennis vibes.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said. That's everything you need to know about this movie, is that the cover photo is that quirky girl getting
a piggyback ride.
Hilarious.
So I will say Kirsten Dunst, I think, was in a tennis movie, and that might be what you're doing. Is she in
Wimbledon?
Hold on, let me find out. Because I do think that there's a Beautiful Mind ADHD thing that's happening right now.
100% she's in Wimbledon.
There you go. That's why.
Okay, maybe that stays in. Speaking of A Beautiful Mind, starring Paul Bettany, who plays John Nash's imaginary friend in Beautiful Mind.
And Kirsten Dunst from Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Finally.
Yeah, we got
our
there.
Jersey connection. Again, I have one other boring one, but
I will say, so let's do the Griffin Dunn bit now, because I do think that regardless of his qualities as a person, I don't think he was the right person for this movie. I don't know anything about him as a person other than this, but I read some quotes from him that made me kind of wonder about him as a person, because so there's some quotes from him in an interview that he did like years after, and it honestly made me feel like maybe he was too cocky about his abilities. He said, this is just talking about the lead up to the film and how he got involved. He said, at the time I directed Meg Ryan in a romantic comedy called Addicted to Love for the same studio. They were very, very pleased with it. I have a certain gift for directing women in roles.
Oh.
I never thought of it as a gender-specific trait, but I was considered a woman's director, particularly for romantic comedies. So, and there's more quotes like that where he kind of talks about himself as, like, something that maybe, I don't know. He talks about himself in a way where I'm like, are you listening to what you're saying? He also says that, like, this is what I was saying about his original version being much darker. He says, this film is ripe for a director's cut. The scene of them putting needles in Jimmy Angelov, it was a terrifying scene. I was very, very pleased with it, but they felt it was just too intense. He also says the domestic violence was much more intense, too. That's something I also really wanted to portray, the horror of domestic violence of a woman who's in an abusive relationship, a woman who's in an abusive relationship who was saved by her sister. That was an important aspect to me in the script. It's there, but it was much more intense in my cut. So, yeah.
The domestic violence stuff is nuts, because not only is it like tonally weird in this particular movie, but it's also like so clear that this movie thinks Jillian is at fault, that it is her fault that she is in this abusive relationship.
You know, I hadn't even really identified that while watching it, but I think you're right.
Because she's like a wild child, you know?
Yeah.
And like, she has loose morals. And like,
right. And, you know, this movie pays a lot of lip service to the idea that slut shaming is slut shaming and bad. And like, you know, women can do whatever they want. And, you know, but it doesn't actually play out in the way that her character
and like
is
Sally
created.
Gets two loves of her life.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she's so chaste and
like,
sweet. Yeah. Absolutely.
He really understands women.
Yeah.
Although the weird something that just occurred to me as we're saying, like, she gets two loves, whatever, is he gonna die?
Yeah, probably. Well, no, she created him, so maybe not.
So is that okay?
Maybe, because he's not like necessarily a real person, even though he's a real person. Like she conjured him.
Right. I kept thinking, like, if I at 12 years old or however she was, wrote that same list, like, what would be on mine?
It would be Billy Joe from Green Day.
The next words out of my mouth were going to be, it would have been Billy Joe from Green Day.
Yeah, of course.
The next words out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. And mine would have been Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis together. Both of them. Yeah. So,
he also doesn't look like he has one blue eye and one green eye to me.
No, he doesn't.
When they showed his, like, him taking his shape, actually, I don't know if he's wearing sunglasses when we meet him. In my head, that's how we get it revealed. But I was like, oh, interesting. He's not. This is going to be a movie that's about, like, whether true love is, you know, like, because this guy doesn't have one blue eye and one green eye. But
no, you don't see it at all in the beginning.
You can't hide. Like,
I know. It's so weird. He never helmed another studio film after this, which is interesting. But he does not seem to understand why. So we're going to talk a little bit later on about the sequel that's coming, but he was also asked about that recently, and all of the other attempts that were made to play with this IP in the years in between. And they asked him, do you have any interest in returning if they were to approach you for the sequel? And he said, Yeah, I do actually. I would like to bring the perspective of a filmmaker 25 years later in the world that we live in now to see how we could retell the story in a more contemporary way. I'd be really curious to know how to be in that world again. And then this isn't a direct quote, but in that same article it says, Griffin Dunn hinted that a woman will direct the sequel while he will serve as executive producer. So, I don't know.
Man, I just thought of like 100 things.
Yeah.
God,
No, I just got a vibe from every interview with him that he is very fond of himself and doesn't quite see that there's other perspectives on this movie other than his. But I could be projecting. That should be my tagline for everything.
It is... I'm struggling because I'm not sure if it makes sense that this is where this goes.
What piece?
Just kind of talking about, it's not here yet. Go ahead. Never mind.
You're not bringing up the witch consultant that they hired? No. So the other thing that he comments on a lot in articles is the witch consultant that they hired to get the details of the ceremony right, apparently, which, okay. He talks a lot about how much they paid her. And then she ended up sort of... The details are fuzzy, but he says she was paid very handsomely by Warner Brothers for her consulting. I thought it would be fun to bring her out to Los Angeles, put her in a nice hotel, and meet Sandy and Nicole, who were dying to meet her. When the producer called, she was greatly offended and wanted 3 gross points from the film's profit. She wanted to publish a practical magic cookbook and said, "You can't buy me off with a hotel." She left a curse in some sort of tongue on my voicemail. That was quite chilling, actually. And threatened to sue Warner Brothers. So I took the little mini cassette recording and gave it to the legal department. They didn't get halfway through it before they said, "Fuck this," and wrote her a check.
Whoa.
Vanity Fair has reached out to Warner Brothers for comment. So the witch consultant cursed Griffin Dunn after this movie.
Unbelievable.
Like you said, it was... So I don't have a lot of other production stuff other than the locations. It was filmed partly on a set in California, the interiors, and then they wanted to find a house first on the coast that they could film at. They couldn't find one that was the right, look, place, location, all of that. So they built a shell on San Juan Island in Washington State. They did not put anything inside of it. It's just the exterior.
Heartbreaking.
Did you read about the land that they built it on? San Juan Island did not have this big, beautiful mansion they wanted, right? So they had to make a fake one. This is a quote from an article that I read. The production crew had found a bare piece of land that would be the perfect location. The only hitch was that this land had a rich native history.
Oh, what a hitch.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. How inconvenient.
Right. The local authorities wouldn't allow the filmmakers to dig into the soil for that reason. To circumvent the issue, they agreed to build the mansion atop a platform so the soil would not be damaged. They also had to tear it down the moment it was no longer needed. Then, in that same article, I believe, the cast further stated in the film's commentary that they felt supernatural elements of the house started to affect them. The cast and crew both heard supernatural noises while filming the coven scene. So...
They moved the tombstones, but they didn't move the bodies, you know?
Yeah, moral of the story, don't fucking try to build on native land, people.
No.
Our whole country is built on native land, but that's, yeah. But of course, I read that and I was like, oh, okay. Uh-huh.
I'm obsessed with this island, Jodie.
Whidbey?
San Juan Island.
Okay. Got it.
I found, this is my favorite thing. This is where this goes.
Okay.
And it could be the rest of the podcast. So I'm just going to we'll start talking. You tell me when you're bored, because I could do this all day.
Okay.
I found a Facebook group called What's Up Friday Harbor?
Okay.
Friday Harbor is on San Juan Island.
Uh-huh.
This is a post from September of 2024. Where was the practical magic house set? Who here was involved? Because these are people who live on San Juan Island. It's their Facebook group. Anyone here in the big ending scene? And this is a public Facebook group, so I'm just kidding. Yeah. So John Boyd said, I was security on the set from start to finish. I worked the 4 p.m. to midnight shift, so I got to see a lot of the set every day. And it was all hands on deck the day that the actors all showed up on the island with all the background crew, gaffers, electricians, etc. Base camp was over at the Elbins house. The Elbins, God. You know, because this
naturally.
Is I remember Aidan Quinn was one of the first people to come in, and he was very friendly and made a point to introduce himself to all of us. Sandy was very sweet and made sure to say hello to me all the time. I never saw Tom on the set, but Nicole was very nice as well.
Oh my
Diane
God.
Weiss would make me laugh all the time. The entire crew that came in were nothing but professional, kind, and polite to the locals. I would love to do another movie.
Oh my God.
Hannah Stevanovic. The outside of the house was built just for the movie and then torn down. We got some of the wood from the demolition.
Okay.
Teresa DeGraff. My niece was a stand-in for Sandra Bullock. As a minor, she needed adult supervision, so I was around the set sometimes.
Wow.
I could read a million of these, but okay. This is something that obviously, like, kind of goes, doesn't go without saying. We run into over and over again. Somebody named Boo Boo James said, I was too dark to play a pilgrim. Oh, the irony.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Laura McKee says, my hubby was an extra at the end. He was the skeleton that ran across the scene while the witches were on the roof celebrating.
Oh, okay.
Someone else said, my daughter Caitlin and I were in that scene.
That's adorable.
I worked for Simmons Glass at the time. We took the glass out of a window so there wasn't any glare during a shoot. It's amazing. My brother William worked on the installation project. And then someone else says, nice close-up of, and then tagged somebody in the group, Shannon Kelly at the beginning of the movie.
Oh my God.
It's a ton of stuff like that. My favorite comment. My fave practical magic story from Brian Calvert. I was flying the, quote, cat wrangler back and forth during the shooting. She called one evening saying she needed 200 frogs. Puzzled, why me? Then I heard all the frogs at the airport swamp. Got the coach of the Little League team together with the production lady. He got all the kids out collecting frogs that night. The movie bought the kids uniforms and all sorts of stuff. So every time I see that scene, I smile. I did that.
Oh my God.
Those frogs are locally sourced
frogs
from
incredible
Brian Calvert and the Little League team.
I love that.
I want every movie we cover to have a dedicated Facebook group like this.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
I told you before we started recording, I wasn't as researched as I like to be.
No, but that's valuable work that you just did.
This is all I wanted to do was read about.
No, that's incredible. I mean, my personal connection is just that my cousin and his wife got married on Whidbey Island, which is not where the house was, but where the little town was.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah, well, there's a naval air base there, and that my cousin was in the Navy, and so that's where he met his wife when they were like barely out of their teens. And the big thing for me, they got married when I was probably, I want to say 13 or 14. Mm-hmm. And the big thing for me was, that I got to fly to Washington. I got to go to Seattle for the first time. I flew in a 9-seater plane to Whidbey Island.
Whoa,
yeah.
That rules. Scary.
And then the house that they rented for us on Whidbey Island, like the family to stay at, so it was me and all of my cousins, was this huge, like 10-bedroom weird ranch house with an indoor pool.
Ooh.
I will never forget that house. As a 13-year-old, I was like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. Like, I'm hanging out with all my older cousins in a house with an indoor pool. Like, we all kind of slept in this, like, on cots and like, there were tons of us in the house, but
that's so cool.
Yeah. And then the wedding was, of course, beautiful. But yeah, so that's my personal connection.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Okay, so other location stuff. Let's see. I read that Barbara Streisand wanted to buy the house, not knowing that it was just a shell.
I could see her being like, okay, so make me the house then.
Yeah, I know.
I'll move my shopping mall that is in my current house to this house, so go build it.
Exactly. Oh, the other thing, so the town of Coupeville on Whidbey Island, where they filmed the town scenes, they every year, of course, have a anniversary celebration for the release of Practical Magic.
That's really fun. Ugh.
There's a couple of cast notes that I thought we could talk about. I mean, Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, I feel like they're almost beyond discussing. They're just like fixtures in everyone's life. I did read that one of the reasons that Sandra Bullock decided to do this movie in the first place was because Speed 2 had failed. Aww. Like, she had been in these like blockbusters like Speed and kind of was going in that direction. And then when that movie bombed, she was kind of like, well, I'm just going to do something that I want to do then. Oh. Like, I'm not going to try to keep making these like blockbuster movies. So that's cool.
Yeah, good for her.
I know Aidan Quinn from Desperately Seeking Susan, which is the Madonna movie that I was obsessed with as a child.
Yeah, I love that movie too. I mean, I've always sort of known him. I'm trying to think if there's anything specific that like...
Well, Benny and June too.
Oh God, Benny and June. Man, I love Benny and June. I haven't watched that since I was a kid, though. But I don't think there's anything like major that I'm like, oh, this is so important to me. You know?
No, me either.
He's charming enough in this. Like he's
fine.
He doesn't have,
Yeah. If it wasn't for the magical spell, I wouldn't believe that Sandra Bullock would instantly fall in love with him. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's so weird. Everything, the way they handle love in this movie is weird because she created him. Her aunt sent, cast some sort of spell to have her fall in love with her first husband. Like,
yep. Yeah, it's to me, this movie's thesis is like love doesn't exist unless you create a magic spell to make it happen.
Which is kind of fun considering the like aunts are these like, but it's not leading into that as an actual message enough for it to be like, I think that's accidental. I think it wants you to think,
yes,
it thinks true love is real.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, I mean, I love nothing more than a group of older women in long skirts, like living and drinking together and having a good time and
getting drunk at midnight.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the goal. Like we've talked about how Weezer is from Steel Magnolias.
Exactly.
Is unfortunately ends up with a partner, but
that speaking of Midnight Margaritas, that scene of them reminded me so much of, or I guess Yellow Jackets, when they're all at Lottie's compound.
Yes.
And they get drunk in the kitchen. And it's like even lit similarly.
Yeah. It also had a bit of Mermaid's Kitchen vibes too.
Absolutely.
Some other notables, obviously Stockard Channing, which I think... So this is where I realized that once again we have the Good Wife and the Good Fight just running rampant throughout all of the films
Big
we talk about.
On this one though, like
yes.
especially it seems like
Stockard Channing was on the Good Wife for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. Also, she studied history and literature at Radcliffe, graduated summa cum laude. Amazing,
interesting,
smart lady.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to think about where these super famous people were in their careers at the time. Mm-hmm. That's why I mentioned the Sandra Bullock thing. But Nicole Kidman she'd just been in Batman Forever and done To Die For the year before, which was like a huge thing. And then right after this, she did Eyes Wide Shut. So she's at this point in her career where she's like this femme fatale type anyway. Like that's what she had been playing.
It's so funny because I like don't think of her that way, even though that's so true. I have such a soft spot for Moulin Rouge. Like, again, that's another movie that is probably not good, but man, do I love it so much.
I haven't seen it since like it first came out, but I remember really liking it. Mm-hmm. So the guy that plays her love interest, an actor named Goran, I'm going to mispronounce his last name. I apologize. He's Croatian. Visnik is how I'm going to say it. I know him from ER.
Oh.
He was on ER for a couple of years as like one of the main doctors. But he also fought in the Croatian War of Independence.
Whoa.
Like he's from Croatia. He had been acting there in theater and then got conscripted into the war in 91. And then after the war, he went back to theater and ended up being kind of... he got a role as a supporting actor in the film Welcome to Sarajevo that was filmed in Sarajevo. Okay. And then because of that, he caught the eye of like a talent agent, offered him employment in the U.S., moved to the U.S., ended up being in like The Peacemaker with George Clooney and Nicole Kidman, and then ended up in Practical Magic and then did ER. Like, it's just such a
185 episodes of ER?
Yeah.
You said main doctor. You didn't, you meant main doctor.
Yes.
Like, holy.
Well, so... everybody's been talking about Noah Wyle in the pit lately, and this actor came in as Dr. Luka Kovac after Noah Wyle left. He came in as like the replacement lead guy.
How long was ER on for?
1,000 years.
I don't think I realized it was on that long.
1,000 years. It was the Grey's Anatomy before Grey's Anatomy.
Hold on. Hold on. I am losing my mind. So he came on after Noah Wyle, which means there were at least 185 episodes after he left. Mm-hmm. First of all, that's crazy. Second of all, ER ended when I was 4 years out of high school.
Yeah. 94 to 2009. 15 seasons, 331 episodes.
I had no idea. I mean, I must have been aware of it because all I did was watch TV.
Yeah.
Like, I just, in my head, like, it was done when I was a kid, but I was 22, 23 years old.
It's
Wild.
the second longest running primetime medical drama behind Grey's Anatomy.
I can't believe I didn't know that.
It was huge. I mean, like, when you talk about, like, medical dramas, it was like...
Yeah, I knew that.
St. Elsewhere, ER, Grey's Anatomy, like... Those are the big guys.
He's also, yeah, that is wild. He's also, here's a Jersey connection. He's in, I had stopped watching it by this point, but he is in an episode of Doctor Who called Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. He plays Tesla, and it's about the rivalry between Tesla and Edison.
Edison, right.
So I wonder who plays Edison. Let's find out. Robert Glenister? I hope he does a Jersey accent.
Oh, God.
Where was Edison? Was Edison born in Jersey?
I don't know, but I don't know that he sounded like Tony Soprano, even if he was.
In my head.
I hope he did.
Oh, really? I mean, not the worst state to be born in, but he was born in Ohio. No, no, not the worst state. No, I said not the worst state to be born in. Anyway.
Other notables in the cast. So the woman who played Maria Owens in the beginning, not too much on her, but she had a brief supporting role on the show Charmed, which I thought was fitting. She played the Angel of Light.
Witch? Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe. She played the Angel of Light, Guardian of the Hollow in season 4 the episode Charmed and Dangerous. But she was also in an episode of The Good Wife.
Of course.
We have Evan Rachel Wood as one of the daughters, who I just found out is in 2024 was starring in the off-Broadway musical revival of Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. There's a couple of other really notable folks in this to me. So obviously Margot Martindale, another Jersey connection, having been in The Watcher.
I was so excited. I didn't know that going into it. So she was
we
a
love
real...
Margot Martindale.
Yeah, she's...
Also had a recurring role in The Good Wife. Like, this is going to be a refrain. Some of the side characters, so there's the ones that work in the shop with Sandra Bullock. Chloe Webb, who plays Carla, was in Sid and Nancy. Was also in China Beach, another long-running TV series, and then was also played Monica Gallagher in Shameless.
Oh.
And then the other one in that sort of area for me that was a notable is the woman who played Patty, Martha Gemmon. Mm-hmm. Very importantly, played Ophelia in Legend of Billie Jean.
Oh, fun. I missed that somehow.
And then finally, I mean, obviously, Diane Wiest, we talked about. She doesn't have a lot to do with this movie. I was kind of sad about that. She's just like a delightful old lady, but she doesn't have much of a personality.
No, Stockard gets a little more, I think, to do. Man, do I love her, though.
But then the guy that played Sandra Bullock's first husband was from the show Royal Pains.
Yeah, Michael Feuerstein, he looks so familiar to me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any, like...
Well, he was in an episode of The Good Fight, Andrea.
Oh, obviously. He just looks so familiar to me. And I have no clue what I think I know him from because...
Well, he's like literally the face of that show, Royal Pains. So even if you didn't see it, you saw a lot of advertising for it, I'm sure.
Okay, that's probably what it is. Because like I'm looking again at his credits and like I literally don't think I've seen him in a single thing.
Should we talk reviews? Because this is really funny. I mean, it's sad because it was so poorly reviewed, but the reviews are pretty sharp, let's say. It did not make money either. It grossed $68 million against a $75 million budget.
Yeah, that's sad.
Not good. Which is so funny. Like, so many of these movies end up making that up in the long run. And I couldn't find any sort of stats that this one did, but they are making a sequel.
Yeah. So
it definitely has its appeal. It had a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's really... One of the reviews, so they were all bad. All the reviews I read were bad. But the one in Variety that talked about the writing also said, though not as embarrassingly silly as the 93 Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler, Griffin Dunn's slight, undernourished practical magic will not much improve Hollywood's record on witchcraft.
I
It's in this stretch that, so they're talking about Dunn again, and they say he seems to be the wrong director for this potentially campy material, and he loses his grip. He inserts into the proceedings unimpressive exorcist-like special effects. In one of them, Kidman hysterically contorting on the floor actually looks like Linda Blair's Regan. I mean, that's the thing. We've got domestic violence and a possession that looks like it's from a horror movie next to like Sandra Bullock in a flouncy clothing dancing around in like a greenhouse.
Possession that looks like a horror movie, but then when he comes out of her body as the
my God,
those graphics look like they look like he looks like he is in like Disney's like Haunted Mansion.
Somebody did that in MS Paint.
Like, yeah, exactly.
It's
like
bad.
I could have done that.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
We've got Ebert, but before we get to him, I want to, the harshest sentence I could find in their reviews, and I wasn't looking, there were so many of them, was from the New York Times review by Janet Maslin from the time. And it says, "It's Barbie joins a coven time as Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman shake their long flossy hair and play witch sisters with otherworldly decorative qualities." Wow, Janet.
Otherworldly decorative qualities?
Yeah.
I don't even really know what that means.
Me neither, but it's insulting. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Ebert. Because he's the one that's quoted the most when they talk about this movie's like sort of jumble.
I hate when he gets it right about a movie that I kind of like. He says a couple of things in this.
Yeah, but he's not wrong.
But yeah.
He's talking about what we're talking about. He says practical magic is too scary for children and too childish for adults. Who was it made for?
Yeah.
He's talking about this scene where Sandra Bullock's first husband dies. And he says, one day she hears the Death Watch beetle beneath the floorboards. Desperate, she tears up one floorboard, then another. How does this work? Your husband lives if you squish the beetle in time? Soon she has torn up the entire floor, a job that would take union carpenters hours, if not days, and is not necessary because anguish can actually be demonstrated by the manner in which you tear up the floorboards, not by how many you are able to get through. The extra floorboards, like the extra songs, are overkill. And so this leads into what you were about to, I think, say about the soundtrack.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the soundtrack and what he said about it. But Ebert is so funny, and I love when he gets bitchy. It's tough when it's about a movie that I like. But I just wanted a couple other little things in this that cracked me up. Later, Jillian sends Sally a psychic distress call, and Sally speeds to the rescue, finding Jillian shacked up in a motel with Jimmy, a Transylvanian cowboy who beats her up. It's like, God. And then talking about Aidan Quinn, no prizes for guessing his eye colors. The whole movie would have been funnier if they, and not meaning Diane Wiest and Tucker Channing, and not the younger women, had been involved with the Transylvanian cowboy and the cop, but that would have required wit and imagination beyond the compass of this material.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Well, he also asks the question you asked, which is still pending at the outcome, is whether pancake flipping somehow immunizes Gary from the knell of the Death Watch beetle.
It's a really good question. And we can talk about, I mean, I don't have the answer to that because I didn't do a ton of research into the later books and how much they're related to the practical magic to the movie. I have a feeling they're not going to kill Aidan Quinn off but
yeah,
the what he says about the soundtrack, this soundtrack is so wild and weirdly
it's all
matched,
over the place, and
it just like it doesn't
got Jodie Mitchell and Faith Hill.
It is wild. Okay, so he says, and this is it right here. This is why soundtracks are so important and why you can know so much about a movie based on its soundtrack. The movie doesn't seem sure what tone to adopt, veering uncertainly from horror to laughs to romance. To cue us, it puts lots of songs on the soundtrack. A movie lacks confidence when it uses music to tell us how to feel.
Wait, pause on that sentence, because that is the crux of this.
A movie lacks confidence when it uses music to tell us how to feel. Here the music intrudes, insists, explains, and tries to force segues between events that are not segueable. Example, early in the film, an impending kiss is accompanied by This Kiss by Faith Hill, which needle drop, that music cue happened, and I laughed out loud. It's so silly, and it is so 1998, everything about that. You mentioned Jodie Mitchell. A Case of You is one of my absolute favorite songs. It's perfect. I know, listen, we don't have to get into Joni Mitchell and her weirdly racist, it would be a whole episode, but what I want to say is, instead of listening to Joni Mitchell's Case of You, Prince's cover of that song is unbelievable. I told you I got distracted earlier today. I was running a little late for several reasons. One of them was I got distracted. His version is like one of my favorite songs of all time, and I got distracted watching live versions of it.
Oh, God. I mean, I could watch Prince on stage doing anything and just forget time entirely.
He's just perfect. I mean, and it's like he gets the song maybe better than she does. So yeah, I just really wanted to, any excuse to talk about Prince for 30 seconds, I'm going to take
100%.
But yeah, it is just a really bizarre soundtrack overall. So.
It's all over the place. Mm-hmm. It's like, it doesn't have, like the soundtracks that we have talked about that have really kind of killed it and have lived on had a point of view. Mm-hmm. Like, this does not have a point of view. Yes. This is like, this song is here to tell you what's happening.
Right.
I do want to talk about the subsequent attempts a little bit at using this IP, and then just kind of highlight the fact that, like everything else we have talked about, there's some attempt at a remake, but this one seems to actually be happening. Or not seems to, is actually happening. So the very first version of that, in 2004, they tried to make a TV show called Sudbury. They made a pilot, and the only reason I care about this is because it's named for Sudbury, Massachusetts, which is apparently the location of the novel, and also where my ancestors lived.
Oh, cool.
Like, ancestors meaning, like, when they came over from England in the 1600s, some went to Marlborough, Mass., some went to Sudbury. Mine went to Sudbury. There's literally a library in Sudbury with a version of my last name on it. So that's the only reason. I literally have a map of Sudbury, Massachusetts from the, like, 1800s because of that.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the only reason I care about it. And then in 2010, they tried to create a prequel TV series, which also didn't really go. But now, finally, last year, they announced that they were actually making a full-on sequel film with Denise Denovi, Bullock, Kidman, Akiva Goldsman is coming back to co-write the screenplay. Griffin Dunn is not directing. So, and then they've since cast Joey King as one of the daughters. Stucker Channing and Diane Wiest are coming back. Lee Pace is on that list of people. So I'm excited about that. I don't know what he's playing, but I don't care. I'll take it.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see because, like, again, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I understand that it wasn't good. I think there's a possibility for a movie like this to be good in its own way.
Totally. They just have to pick a tone.
Yeah, and so I am interested to see what they do with that.
And so it's filming now, like right now. There's, Instagram posts from like day one of shooting with Kidman and Sandy Bullock. It's going to be based on her 2021 follow-up sequel book, The Book of Magic.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the stuff I said about Hannibal, because Practical Magic, 1995, the movie 1998. Then the first, she's written 3 other books. There's 2 prequels and a sequel written between 2017 and 2022. So it's like she waited almost 20 years. And it seems to me, I can't say for sure, that this is why, in the same way that like Hannibal Rising was written. My guess is it was because
they wanted to make a film. They
wanted this movie to happen, is my guess. I can't say that for sure, but
the director they have on board is Suzanne Bier, who has worked with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman before on previous projects. She did Bird Box, the Netflix movie that just to me is Sandra Bullock in a blindfold. I don't know anything else about it.
Oh, I watched it.
You did?
It's Sandra Bullock in a blindfold.
Okay. And then directed Nicole Kidman in the Netflix show The Perfect Couple, which I also haven't seen.
I haven't either. People kind of liked it, right?
I don't know. I think people like Nicole Kidman in a dramatic wife role, and so that's probably why. But yeah, I don't know. She's done a bunch of TV work. She's done a bunch of like Netflixy type films. I believe she's from Denmark. So yeah,
we'll see. Did you find any good Jersey connections?
No, other than
Aidan
the
Quinn?
Margot Martindale, the Watcher connection.
Yeah, okay, that one counts. Okay.
It's not great, but it's what we've got, I think.
That's definitely the best one because there's whatever one I said earlier that I already don't remember. And that Aidan Quinn lived in Inglewood for a while.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Not a ton.
Sorry, I'm looking at the plot of the book now.
Oh, yeah. What is the plot of the book?
I'm going to read the book description. So if listeners, you don't want any spoilers for Practical Magic 2, there might be some here. It's a spellbinding and enchanting final Owens novel brimming with lyric beauty and vivid characters, apparently. So it says the Owens family has been cursed to matters of love for over 300 years, but all of that is about to change. That's a dream job for me, is writing book blurbs. The novel begins in a library, the best place for a story to be conjured. When beloved Aunt Jet Owens hears the Death Watch beetle and knows she has only 7 days to live. Jet is not the only one in danger. The curse. Yeah, apparently... Maybe it sounds different when you're...
I thought it was just for husbands.
Again, not established in the movie for sure.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Yep, who knows? Jet is not the only one in danger. The curse is already at work. A frantic attempt to save a young man's life spurs 3 generations of the Owens women. So I'm guessing one of the young girls, one of the daughters falls in love.
Right.
And one long-lost brother to use their unusual gifts to break the curse as they travel... As they travel from Paris to London to the English countryside where their ancestor Maria Owens first practiced the unnamed art. The younger generation discovers secrets that had been hidden from them in matters of both magic and love by Sally, their fiercely protective mother. As Kylie Owens uncovers the truth about who she is and what her own dark powers are, her Aunt Franny comes to understand that she is ready to sacrifice everything for her family. And Sally Owens realizes that she is willing to give up everything for love. Okay, so there is no mention there of Mr. Cop. Hey, this movie, unsurprisingly, but in a kind of like way over the top way, really pro cop. His badge has magic powers because he believes in it. And I know. Then also, we celebrate him because he doesn't turn in the 2 women who... Yeah.
Killed an abusive man. Serial killer. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. So the only thing to me that in any of that description and any of what we talked about with the sequel that has me remotely excited is the long lost brother, because if Lee Pace is a warlock, long lost brother, cool. I'm in.
And I'll tell you what, I read in some other article somewhere they mentioned that this movie, or that the last book in the series has more like queer stuff going on.
Sick.
And so I could see Lee Pace's character being somebody who is dealing with being othered not only for being a warlock but also for being gay.
I'm in. So give me Lee Pace as a queer warlock, and I will watch the shit out of that movie.
We have to watch The Fall. When are we going to watch The Fall, Jodie?
Oh God,
you will. I'm not going to tell you. My guess is you will quite like the Lee Pace of it all, and also it is just visually stunning. It's visually stunning, and it's all practical effects. It's unbelievable. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's watch it now and come back in 2 hours and talk about it.
So I'm not, there's no ruse here. We just had a whole conversation on mic, but not that you're going to hear, about whether we actually should do The Fall next week. And somehow I got convinced. We're finally doing it.
This is really telling you a lot about the kind of people we are. We've done an even trade where we won't say what we're going to watch the week after.
Yeah, but you're going to do something that I want you to do.
That I'm going to like and that I haven't watched.
You're going to love.
Again, and both of us are doing
like this.
We're both being a little begrudging about it for some reason.
Yeah.
Listeners, so we're watching The Fall. There are a few different things called The Fall. We're not watching the Gillian Anderson TV show. We are watching 2006 The Fall, directed by Tarsem Singh, starring the aforementioned beautiful, wonderful, sad-eyed Lee Pace.
Yep.
You can find
haunted-looking man.
Oh, man. I love him so much. You can find it on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, at least.
Probably your local library.
Yeah. This one feels like a local library movie. So take a look and see. So the runtime's a little longer. I'm so sorry.
Oh boy.
It does not break the 2-hour mark.
That's good. Okay.
So just, you know.
That's fine then.
And I'm so excited to talk about this movie next week, Jodie. Thank you so much for agreeing to do it.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, I'm sure that I'll end up liking it. It's just, I don't know. I have a thing where I just can't do what people want me to do.
I think you would probably have that no matter what state you were born in. But to have that trait and then also be born in New Jersey is like, I mean, what are you, what's anybody to do about that?
It fits. It fits. And if our listeners have any suggestions, I know that, so I think you said Nick reached out about Wayward. I think next week we're doing The Fall. The week after that, we're doing something else, which is not Wayward. Mm-hmm. But I did watch all of it. And so I do have some thoughts. And so maybe we'll kind of get to that at some point. My thoughts, Mae Martin is hot. That's my thoughts. But beyond that, I also watched the entire series, and I can probably come up with something more coherent than that.
I don't know about you, but I kind of feel, I don't know what we'll do in the long run after the next 2 weeks and whether or not we do Wayward, but I do kind of feel the itch to get back to some TV. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, TV is my first love more than movies, as we've talked about. The amount of TV that I consume, I don't think you even realize.
I think you probably TV the way I podcast, right? Like you always have something on when you can.
Yeah. Although I also am that way with podcasts, but the amount of shows I just go through start to finish, and never even bring up. Did you know I watched Slow Horses? And I'm up to date on it. Do you know I watched all of Task recently? And I'm caught up on all of the Chicago shows, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, and Chicago PD.
I think your activities you do in your home and stuff.
Yes.
You can be paying attention to something visual while also working, right? In a way that I, as a freaking podcast producer.
Right. Yeah, no, a lot of my evenings lately have been knitting, and knitting goes very well with crime shows. Famously, it's a great pairing.
That sounds, if only you were in a giant old Victorian house.
Oh my God.
Off the coast of New England while you were doing it.
I always think if only I was in an old Victorian house off the coast of New England. That's sort of my constant wish, especially on a cliff over the ocean.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just talk about that again for an hour. Hey, rudely interrupting me and Jodie because I forgot to mention that our friend of the pod, Sav Rogers, who made the documentary Chasing Amy that we love so much, is funding a new project called Pancake Skank, which is a fantastic name. It's a comedy sci-fi short. I'll read the log line, which is up on seedandspark.com/fund/pancake skank. Pancake Skank is an acerbic surreal sci-fi comedy about what it means to be a true friend, which feels like the kind of movie I want to watch right now, always and forever. And it is 87% funded. If you're listening to this on Monday, it's got just about 2 days to get to its goal, which is a pretty modest $30,000. They're at 26.5 right now. How lovely to be able to help make something good in the world happen. Okay, back to the past, which is in the past of where I am right now, but then double in the past from where you are right now.
So yeah, that's it for us this week. I will stubbornly watch a movie that I'll probably like, and we'll talk to you about it next week. Where can they find us in the meantime?
We are at, I don't know.
Wow. We are at WatchersPodNJ on Instagram. You can email us your thoughts on Lee Pace or any other things we've brought up this. Tell me that I'm the worst for not really liking Practical Magic. That's fine. I know I am.
Nobody's going to hold that against you.
At WatchersPodNJ@gmail. You can find me on Instagram at Jodie_Mim, JODIE_MIM.
And I am at AQ, Andrea Q. And listeners, how many times can I ask you people? Call us.
Nobody calls anyone anymore,
Andrea. I just want you to.
I know that you work on a phone-based podcast, but most people don't call people. I know that that's very different than your daily experience.
I made it clear that it's a voicemail line. That we're not going to answer the phone. Okay.
Answer?
I promise.
Just call.
Give
just
me
call
a
one
call.
of us at home.
856-336-8986.
Yeah.
If you have seen The Fall and you love it, leave us a voicemail that I can share with Jodie. If you've seen The Fall and you don't like it, who are you? But leave us a message so that if Jodie doesn't, she'll have someone to commiserate with. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
just call us and say hello.
Yeah. But as always,
bang
yourself in the head.
Get in the car.
And go to New Jersey.
Go to New Jersey.